In 2023, over 90 Star Wars Black Series figures were released. Some were merely shiny repaints, some were great new sculpts, and some were just complete dog shit. I'm here today to talk about the best of the best. These are my top 10 Black Series of 2023. First, I gotta have an honorable mention for the Magna Droid. I know his shoulders pop off like all the time. I know the legs come warped half the time. I know he's not even really the right color of what we would have wanted, but at the end of the day, it's still a Magna Droid. It's definitely not my favorite figure to mess with and pose, but I'll be damned if they don't look amazing flanking my Grievous, so just for that, I gotta put him as an honorable mention. At number 10, I got the Gaming Greats Darth Maul. Now, I love this figure. I think it looks great, very imposing, but I think a lot of y'all are capping when you're saying that this is the best Darth Maul now. I think there's some recency bias going on, because yes, this maybe has slightly better articulation than the Clone Wars Darth Maul. Let's not act like this suit is even half as iconic as the Clone Wars Maul. I mean, come on. Despite that, I really do like this look for Maul. I actually have unlocked this skin in Battlefront 2, which took me an ungodly amount of time. This skin and now the figure is almost like sentimental to me, which is weird. Oh, also apparently he looks like this in Rebels for an episode or something. I don't know, I don't remember, but that's what I've been told. So yeah, awesome figure, awesome articulation, literally no complaints. Number 10 is Darth Maul. Coming in at number 9, we have Black Chrysanthemum, and this guy is just a thick, juicy, hairy piece of man. Like, honestly, this figure is amazing. I guess not a piece of man, he's more like a piece of Wookiee, but besides that, the sculpt is amazing, the paint apps are great, the articulation is lacking, that's why it's not higher on the list. With a figure this bulky and detailed, I don't know how they could have done much better in the articulation department. Another problem is there is a lack of accessories, like they don't have those electric brass knuckles like the Vintage Collection one has, and with nothing to hold in his hands, he looks kinda lame, and he can't really hold his gun right, so, you know, because of that, he's gonna be number 9, but he's still great. Coming in at number 8, we have ARC Trooper 5s. Now, I understand, the helmet decal on this guy is not perfect, but this figure is just solid overall. I mean, it looks great with the other ARC Troopers. It's not as unique as the other figures on this list, so maybe that's why it's not like top 3, but this is almost perfect for 5s. The fact is, the helmet decal is just way too small, but that's my only real gripe with the figure. Coming in at number 7, we have a tiny, petite little guy. This is wicked. This guy might be a whole lot of little, but he packs a pretty big punch. This figure is scaled perfectly. He looks amazing next to Luke and the other Ewoks. The paint is absolutely phenomenal. Why can't we see stuff like this more often? I even like his accessories. I mean, the only problem, which isn't really a problem for me, but for some people is, it is a pretty small figure to pay full price for. But come on, it's wicked. I love Endor, I love Ewoks, and I love this figure. It has great paint apps, good accessories, and actually really good articulation for being such a small little guy. Coming in at number 6, we have CAD Bane from the Target exclusive 2-pack. This figure perfectly captures CAD Bane's first live-action appearance. I absolutely love the face sculpt. I love the blaster effects. This is super cool. He has great detail, good articulation, and he's just a badass space cowboy. It also helps that I got this pack for 27 bucks. I think that the Clone Wars CAD Bane figure is possibly my top 10 Black Series of all time, and the fact that this one rivals it is saying something. Moving on, the number 5 spot is going to none other than R2-D2. The scale on this figure is absolutely amazing. They nailed it this time around. He looks perfect next to Anakin, Luke, and C-3PO. It comes with a bunch of great accessories, and it's super cool how you can store them in his head. This is my perfect R2-D2. I don't know what they could have done to make this any better, and because of that, he's number 5 on this list. Coming in at number 4, we have Ahsoka Tano from the Clone Wars. I love this figure, and I love the Clone Wars, and it breaks my heart that this isn't my number 1, because she easily could have been. But unfortunately, the QC issues on this figure have just been absolutely awful. My figure came with a big gold speck right on her white lines on her face, and I'm gonna have to try to paint over it, but I shouldn't have to do that. It should come just perfect, but unfortunately, a lot of QC issues on this guy, especially on the face. I've seen it all over the Discord. Putting the annoying QC issues aside, this is a perfect representation of Season 3 Ahsoka Tano. The outfit choice is great, the sculpt is amazing, and the face looks amazing besides the QC issues. She comes with like a Force Jester hand as one of her hands, and while this looks really cool, it does make it hard for her to hold the saber with that hand, so I wish they included a swappable one that gripped the lightsaber better, but whatever. At the end of the day, if you get lucky enough to get one with no paint issues, this is the perfect Clone Wars Ahsoka, and I think it's even better than the Season 7 one. The skin tone is more accurate, it's less shiny, it has better feet, better articulation. So yeah, unfortunately the QC issues is the absolutely only thing holding this figure back. This figure should have easily been number 1, but it is what it is. The next 3 could change at the drop of the hat. I think all 3 of these figures are absolutely elite, and I switched the orders of them in my head like 10 times, but yeah, these are the best of 2023. And number 3 goes to Star Killer. Now I chose the deluxe version with both of the stormtroopers and a boatload of accessories, but if you don't like that hefty price tag, you can always go for the standard release. I love The Force Unleashed. It's a top 3 Star Wars video game to me, and it's very nostalgic. Star Killer was on my list of most wanted Black Series since I started collecting the line, and this figure is almost perfect. This just is a perfect representation of the character. The 3-pack version comes with different lightsabers, the awesome lightning hands, 2 stormtroopers, which yeah, we didn't really need, but you know, it can never hurt to have a couple more stormtroopers. But it also comes with 3 heads, and if I'm being honest, I only really like one of them, but the one I like is perfect. The main head is perfect. I'm not crazy about the screaming head or this like menacing head that kind of reminds me of my precious, like that little fucker from Lord of the Rings, Gollum. Yeah, I don't know. But Hasbro really didn't spare any expense on this figure. The paint is great, the sculpt is great, it's very accurate. I don't know what to complain about. I can't really think of anything. Star Killer is a fine addition to anyone's collection. Number 2 is the Phase 2 Clone Trooper. You can give this spot to the Commander Oppo, that's what they say, it's really just a 501st, or the Phase 2 plain white one. They're both the same sculpt, and the sculpt is perfect. I love the rubber overlays and the movable knee pads and the removable helmet and the face sculpts, and the articulation is just buttery smooth. It's so fun to pose these guys. Yes, the 5 o'clock shadow on the white Phase 2 Clone Trooper is pretty absolutely terrible, but you know, you can just swap the head of an Oppo if you want to use a face sculpt on this guy, because the Oppo head sculpt is pretty good, even though they call him Oppo. I don't know why they call him Oppo, and I don't like the light blue on that figure. So really, I would choose the plain white Phase 1 with the Oppo head for my number 2, which is totally doable if you buy both figures, but you know, the main thing is this body is going to be so essential going forward in the line, and I'm super excited to buy all the clones over again on this perfect body with this perfect articulation. I already pre-ordered the Ahsoka Clone Trooper 2-pack on the new mold, and I'm ready to drop more money. Just keep pumping these guys out. I love them. And now for the main event. Number 1. The number 1 Black Series figure of 2023 is... Dun dun dun, little drum roll. Luke Skywalker, Return of the Jedi 40th Anniversary. When I think of Luke Skywalker, this is the version I think of in my head. The black-robed Jedi Luke is very nostalgic to me because Return of the Jedi was my favorite original trilogy movie as a kid, and this figure perfectly embodies Luke in Return of the Jedi. I think the head sculpt is great. This is a really good Mark Hamill likeness. Also, I love the switchable chest plate so you can have him in 2 different looks. And the articulation is perfect. I can get him into almost any pose I want from the movie. This is the definitive Luke Skywalker for me, and for that reason, he gets the number 1 spot on my top 10 Black Series list of 2023. And another year is gone. You know, before we dip here. I think this has been a really positive video. Let's get something negative out. Let me give a dishonorable mention. Fuck that pre-Vizsla. And back to positive. Yeah, I love all 10 of these figures, and I know next year will give me 10 more almost perfect figures. So I plan on making that video next year. And the next video I think coming out on this channel is going to be my Attack of the Clones wish list. So stay tuned for that. Subscribe to my main channel, Blaster Fodder, linked in the description. I do deep dives and video essays on different Star Wars things. So far, I made a first appearance of Boba Fett and a first appearance of General Grievous, and I put way more time and effort into those videos than these, so please go check those out. It would mean absolutely the fucking tater of the tot to me. Listen, subscribe here. Most importantly, subscribe to my main channel, and have a good holidays or Hanukkahs or whatever you do. Bye.